What's up, everybody? We are on day 3 of this journey.
Never-ending journey to FEIC19.
Yeah, it seems like challenge on top of challenge, but
we're getting there.
Yeah, we'll be making it. So I know Michael Solomon just showed up, which is really cool.
See how fast people get there when they fly.
Yes. Right. But you know what? You couldn't take all this stuff that we got in this car, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was needed for this time, at least.
Yeah.
May rethink the future.
May rethink.
I almost had a heart attack last night.
So you can apologize to everybody who's watching.
I'm still alive. You made it through. Thank you for your prayers. I know there were many.
Right, so we are definitely getting a bad connection. We are in. Why don't you show the scenery to this place? Like, we are in.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe. We are like in Texarkana.
No man's land.
And keep it there.
Oh, okay.
We got cows over here.
Hey, Starla.
You're missing all this really good stuff over here. There's like cows. You missed the cows. There'll be more cows.
Oh, I'm sure we'll see many more cows.
Yeah. So we are truly in.
See that car ahead of us?
We are truly in Texas. So look at that. There's a sign for Dallas right there. If you can go to the sign, go to the sign. You missed the sign. You are not.
Dallas, 194 miles.
Okay, yeah. Like you're just like smiling
Sorry.
for the camera.
No, I'm not. I can't see over my selfie stick.
Yeah. So why do you keep coming back to us when I said just let's show them this nice beautiful
I
scene.
saw Jesse in the chat room. Yay, we're gonna see you soon.
Yes.
It's gonna be awesome.
Jesse, I think we're gonna see you guys tonight, right?
I think so. We are headed to get there.
Just in a few hours.
Yeah. Hopefully,
194 miles away.
hopefully around 4:15. That's the goal. As long as we don't hit any more construction.
I will tell you,
Traffic.
the amount of adult signage is unbelievable. So this area.
We don't need to show
No, you don't
those
show
signs.
that. No. Show that. But this is like not the route to like have an inquisitive child ask, "What's this and what's that?"
He's still learning how to read, thankfully.
Yes, thankfully. Next time he'll be, what are all these X's all over the place? And wow, I mean that is, just so prevalent out here. It's
Hey,
crazy.
April. Don't mind my big finger. Jasmine. Ooh, you used to live in Dallas. Okay, so tell us. We have heard that there are a lot of aggressive drivers in Dallas. Is that true? Do we have to just, not use any turn signals and just whip around and be go crazy?
Cut people off.
Cut people off.
I mean, we drove in Boston, and that
Long
was
time ago.
the first time we got into Boston. We did not know where we were going, and that was in the world
That
of
was
like
pre-GPS.
pre-GPS, pre all that stuff.
That was, print out MapQuest driving directions.
And there's all these like turnabouts and all these things when you enter into there. And we entered into like virtually, it was like that tail end of rush hour traffic.
Yes, and it was so bad. We pulled off on the side of the road and told the family members to just come get us.
Yeah, but before that happened,
Done.
I mean, we already got flicked off probably like 10 times.
Oh yeah.
Got cut off probably 8 or 9 times.
I never realized Ohioans are really nice people.
And you could, and
We're polite.
we had to cut so many people off to get into the right lane because you'd be in the far left lane and you'd have to cross over 4 lanes in a really tight space
The highway
of
system's
jam to
nuts.
jam traffic, and you just get over. You don't do anything.
Just try like you the star in Mario Kart. Oh no!
Yeah, right? Oh boy. So hopefully it's not going to be as bad.
So basically close my eyes the whole entire time.
And we're entering rush hour traffic right when we get there, so.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and we got to go to then we got to go there, then
Well,
we got to come to the
we don't have to
hotel.
take highways, so where the Airbnb house that we rented, it's just like 15 minutes, and it's not a highway. It's just a one straight shot. So plan that well.
So yeah, we had a blast hanging out with Tony and Amber last night. They're actually right in front of us.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Yeah, so.
Little Lenny's in the car with them.
Yeah.
Hopefully not crying anymore.
We played a little baseball already, and we've already done some really cool stuff. So, but I did have.
Houston, Dallas.
There we go.
Oh, nice to see it on the sign finally.
Now, when we get to the Texas sign, Liz, make sure that we film and record that.
For sure.
So don't be just smiling to
I'm
the
going
camera.
to keep my eyes on the road.
Yes, and make sure you switch this.
And make sure I tell you every time somebody has their brake lights on.
Yes. So me and Liz were having some chats in here in the car.
Yes, Tony will pave the way, the fast way.
Yeah, he will pave the way. I am going
75.
set at cruise at 75 just to keep up with Tony. So I better set that. Well, we would see the big sign.
Yeah. They better be big. I mean, come on.
Everything's
Everything's
supposed to be
bigger in Texas.
except for their sign. This is a little sign. We had already missed it. I know, look, everybody's got Texas license plates, so
Yeah.
either we are in Texas and we don't know it. Okay, so if you lived in Dallas, okay, here is where we're at. There it is. Well, no, we're in Texarkana right now.
Oh.
See, I told you we are not in Texas just yet.
The trees blocked it.
Yes, we are in. Welcome to Texarkana, which I guess was supposed to be another state.
Which is wild. That's the first I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, so this is, we are in Texarkana, so not too far. We're getting really close. Anybody know the history of Texarkana?
Well, Texarkana is the next 6 miles, so
Can't
I
be
guess
that
it'll
big.
be just a little bit.
Yeah.
It is pretty flat out here, I tell you, especially coming off of Kentucky. It is definitely flat.
Okay, why don't you show me?
Nice chemtrail skies. Those are a lovely sight to behold. How many of your skies look like this? They're just blanketing us with all sorts of awfulness.
So it looks like Texarkana has its own airport. So somebody Google and tell me what exactly Texarkana is.
Starla, what is playing Red Truck? I've never heard of that. Is that like Chinese fire drill? Have you heard of Red Truck?
You guys don't know?
Playing Red Truck? I Spy?
I Spy, like I Spy the Red Truck.
Tell us what you mean. So Chris, I know you had a topic that you wanted to discuss.
Let's get super close to
Are
where
you
we're
just
going.
waiting?
Yeah.
Waiting until we hit Texas to have this fascinating topic?
Well, it's like not. It's just like our discussions that we were having.
Deep thoughts with Chris.
And so I'm not more serious than I was last night on the show with Tony.
Yeah, who stuck it out with you? I know April was there.
The phone died twice, and so only a handful of people came back at the end. But most of the people they were there all the time. So yeah, that was crazy.
You guys were a little slap happy.
Yeah.
And you weren't drinking anything, so.
No, I had driven like 22 hours yesterday.
It felt like it. It wasn't, but it sure felt like it.
All right, well, we
took the longest route possible. I swear,
super
we
close.
somehow extended the drive by an additional 2 hours. Not sure how that happened.
So once we hit the Texas sign, we'll talk about what we're going to talk about.
Chris and I are known for getting lost a lot of places. There was one time on our drive to Boston, that same drive to Boston that we mentioned, where our brother and sister-in-law had to come and get us. On our way home from that, again, we just had our printed out MapQuest driving directions. We got off at that is a small sign. That is small compared to some of the other ones.
Yeah.
The drive-friendly state. Well, let's see how true that is.
There's Texarkana, USA. Over here. Well, guys, we are in Texas. We have made it.
Wait, let me finish my story.
Yeah.
So we got something to eat. We gassed up. We get back on the highway. We drove for probably another like 2 hours. And we're like, wait a second. That cabin over there looks familiar. Those set of trees look familiar. And we ended up having to go to the tolls. And we're like, you know, how far away are we from such and such an exit? And they're like, oh, well, you're heading in the wrong direction. Like, no. How did we get on the wrong way and start heading back to Boston? It was so bad, and it was late, and we ended up missing work, all in to work, and because we both worked at the same place at that time, and telling them, yeah, we're idiots, and we are not going to make it into work tomorrow. So that's our driving. We're challenged.
We're challenged. With GPS, I mean,
GPS helps.
makes everybody be able to do long distance trips.
Yes, but the GPS that we're using has not been updated. So that goof doesn't up a little bit.
Yeah. New roads, yeah, it's totally screwed up. So we are in Texas, so thank you guys so much for taking this trip with us. It started out
made it go by faster.
Yeah, it started out with hanging out with Tom Dunn and getting banned because Tom was dropping some hate speech, which he wasn't. Of course he wasn't. And then getting all the way to Tony and Amber's, and then today we're gonna meet so many people today. So I'm gonna make sure my battery's charged so that we can introduce you to so many different people that we are excited to meet for the first time. And so we'll be doing lots and lots of videos. But me and Liz, we were chatting, and you know, one thing I found really interesting is about the second coming of Christ. And so I was thinking, and when you research, you know, what people think, how old the Earth is, you know, everybody varies just a little bit. You know, some people are just like a little under 6,000 years. Some people just a little over 6,000 years. Some people are saying, well, if you believe in the gap theory, then we've got like, you know, 8 or 10,000 years. So everybody's all over the board. Or, you know, or you've got believers that, you know, still say, why couldn't it be hundreds of thousands of years old? But if we just go with the young Earth creation model, just for the sake of this discussion, I wanted to propose something that was actually pretty interesting. So let's say we are, like some people think, a little under 6,000 years, like just a little under, right around there.
Yep. We were taught at a young age that the Earth is young.
Yeah.
So we are young creationists.
Yeah, so we're
young Earth creation.
You know, which ironically, you know, nobody really had that doctrine of like how many necessarily true years as like a staple in the church, I guess, to like the 50s or the 60s. So it's relatively like new as a predominant aspect of the faith. You know, now I don't know how true that is, you know, or if that's the people who believe in a much older Earth. You know, that's their argument. You know, because I'm sure that Ken Ham and all those guys would say something different. But I know there was some group of young creationists that really were the ones perpetuating, you know, some of the things we're at. But needless to say, that's not even the point of what I'm talking about. So 6,000 years is probably the average. But so I got to thinking, what if the Earth was under 6,000 years old? Just maybe a little hair under 6,000 years old. And, you know, I know that Yahweh works in sequences of 7. Everything he does is in 7s. You know, the feast days, the Jubilee counting years is 7 by 7. Right? So everything is, you know, his number is 7. You know, it's all based on the 7, and then you at the number 8, which is the sign of completion. So I was just thinking, what if his creation of this earth is the same as the finish of this earth and everything that we know? And what if we use Scripture to give us a picture of that? So we know in Scripture, 1,000 years is like a day to the Lord, and vice versa. So if let's say we're under 6,000 years, and we look at the creation model, and in creation he worked for 6 days, and then he rested on the 7th, and that's how we get Shabbat. So what if we flip that in regards to this grand scheme of the whole thing, is that for 6,000 years he worked, and then the next 1,000 years, which would be potentially a millennial reign, or the next 1,000 years, which would be the sign of 7, which would lead into the feast of the great 8th day, right after Sukkot, and right there, that is the sign of completion or infinity. You take the 8 and you put it on its side, and it is the sign of infinity, just like what it will be like after that millennial, when we will reign with him eternally forever. Can I get in it? Right? So, I was just thinking, I don't know, what's your guys' thoughts on that? It's just something I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Something maybe, I'm sure people have talked about it before. I had never heard it before. I just kind of was thinking and thought of it myself. So, that's just like, I'm totally playing hypothetical games here. So it actually isn't anything of, yeah.
So what I told Chris when he proposed that idea to me, I said, that is very wise of you. And we were once told by a biofeedback scan from a doctor that Chris saw years ago.
Oh, no. Don't even say that.
Why? I find it fascinating. The whole teeth and everything of the body is just fascinating to me. So Chris has his wisdom teeth still, and so many people have theirs taken out just because it's what we're told we have to do, or they're impacted. Mine were impacted, so I had mine taken out. But Chris still has his, and he has beautiful straight teeth on top. And many people think that if you still have your wisdom teeth, they were given the term wisdom teeth for a reason, that you potentially still have that wisdom.
It was just a hypothetical,
So I said, well, naturally, of course, that's a very wise idea, because it's coming from someone who is wiser with his wisdom teeth.
We are in Texas. The speed limit just jumped up 5 miles per hour. So, which is crazy. So I don't know, what's your guys' thoughts on that? I mean, I thought that was,
I think everybody's chewing on it.
Yeah.
No one's commented on that yet.
Yeah, right. Look, because essentially, isn't that all the same things that will happen all over again? If that's the case, because I just don't think you can come back on something completely random, and I don't know, because there's such a debate on, how old the Earth is, that we would never be able to know or figure that out. Maybe we will be able to come really close, but we're never going to truly be able to figure out or know. And I think maybe that goes a little bit into, not knowing the exact day or hour.
Yeah.
But although we're watching, we will start to have those, we will have some insight, we'll have the knowledge, we'll be watching, the feast, we'll be watching a lot of these things. Turn live chat on. Is live chat not on?
Well, I don't know. All chat messages. Huh.
It's on. People, if you can comment,
it's on.
if you can comment, drop some comments, because
Yeah, that's strange. So Dustin told us
just try to comment.
Well, Dustin, if you're watching, can you try to comment? And if you can't, then message us back and let us know.
Actually, why don't you press like that settings again? Why don't you press it off and then put all?
Okay, all. Oh, here we go. Now it's back on. Bizarre. Sorry about that. Comment. Sorry.
So, yeah.
Okay, now let's go through these comments. Thanks everybody for dropping in. Dustin, of course you have your wisdom teeth. See, everybody who is able to think outside the box.
That'd be an interesting thing to find out how many people actually who believe in biblical cosmology have their wisdom teeth.
We should take a poll.
Yeah.
How many people
you can't be
here?
in this because you don't count.
How many people in the chat have their wisdom teeth? Comment with the teeth emoji.
I don't know if there is there a tooth emoji?
Of course there is.
So let me know.
7 days of creation, 7,000 years, right?
Okay, has anybody actually heard?
Shabbat Millennium. That sounds wonderful.
Right? I mean,
Day 5 you made man, and in the 5,000 to 6,000 year span, the population of man has exploded, right? Me, I knew you were wise. Mm-hmm.
just saying. Hey, that it sounds right. It sounds interesting. I don't know.
But Mia doesn't have hers anymore.
Yeah.
Explains a lot. Me too.
I really don't know, but you know.
JJ has one, so you have a quarter of your full potential of wisdom.
Which, and knowing JJ, that is, man, we couldn't handle all that wisdom.
You know, I totally think there is something up with everybody telling you know, kids these days that they have to get their wisdom teeth pulled. Like, literally, the wisdom teeth conspiracy. I truly believe it's a thing. Starla has 2. Wait. Oh, you only had 2 come in. I thought I read it at first that they're still coming in.
We're passing military trucks. This is, you know, you're in Texas.
Jasmine has all of hers gone. April never had them. Bizarre.
And shameless plug for her book again. If you guys, April, go ahead, put your book in the comments.
Yeah, put
where
your
people
link.
can get it.
We're all about supporting one another. I tell you, it's hilarious. Was that discussion about oxen? Probably not on the live chat. But it's like, that's all that Chris wears is George Moss's apparel line. And then,
Because I mostly get it all for free, so.
not always.
Not always.
We definitely
but only because we want to support him.
He
doesn't.
George and Michelle, because
George
they're
just
just
wants to give it to
amazing.
me, but you know, if I can pay for it, I will.
But you go between, so you're wearing Rob Skiba's shirt from Teespring, George's jacket. Let's see, what else did I pack?
Oxen underwear.
He hasn't come out with that yet.
It's got
Through the Black. I packed
Through the
Black shirt.
Well, he's got that undergarment clothing where he's got the underwear. It's got
the magical underpants.
Yeah, it's got the compass on it, and then
It's only sold to Mormons. No, totally joking. What else? Of course, we have Head Honcho and Stan Steele, and Robbie.
Well,
Robbie's Celebrate Truth shirt.
I've got Cassie's seats on.
That's right.
Yep.
I don't have. I'm wearing leggings. Don't have them on. They're on my other pants. What else? I mean, there needs to be a jean company. Nobody has any
Denim.
lower half.
No denim. Yeah. No.
Lower half apparel. What's up with that? It's all t-shirts.
We need some flat earth denim. Some Davidson denim.
Oh.
That's his not the new line. Davidson denim. It's for the guy 6'7" and above. With really skinny legs that make you look like to fill yourself out. So that is the Davidson denim line. So I don't think he's watching.
sure, for sure. He's busy greeting everybody. Everybody's coming in early. I'm seeing all these photos of, boy, that dinner last night that Noel Hadley showed. Whew, that had to be a hot one. And not just spicy food.
Yeah.
Oxen underoos. We gotta share that with George.
Yeah. I know Nathan Thompson's gonna be coming out with his own vegan food line coming out. That's for you, Dustin. Yeah, I think
Nathan shared some yummy treats with us that he brought to take on the world. I was super grateful.
Yeah,
That protein shake, I really enjoyed.
Speaking of that, I mean, we are seeing like, okay, so
Mouth-watering burger joint.
Here's what we have seen on this whole entire trip, right? It has been nothing but churches as we've driven through the Bible Belt. And it has been like absolutely crazy. And I was thinking, you know, with all of the adult places all over the highways, you know, and then knowing the statistics of, you know, how much these churches are involved in all of that stuff, it's like they're the ones probably putting these places in there. I mean, driving through the Bible Belt, it has been crazy. I've been picking Christian CDs at all these like flea market places on the way, and it's like everywhere I go, it's like jam-packed, which I knew it would be because everybody down here is like, even though they probably don't live a biblical life, you know, you have to like play the
they
part.
They like to jam out from time to time.
Well, no, they have to play the part and at least have the Christian CD, so probably they're, you know.
But then they got tired of it.
Well, and then they get tired of trading it for something, you know, something a little bit more eviler. And I said eviler. Mm-hmm. So there may be something. That's
what happened
discussion.
at the dinner? So I don't know, but Noel posted a picture with Robbie himself, Rob Skiba, Isaac Chavez, and Danny Faulkner.
Sir Danny Faulkner.
Is that what we have to address him by?
Yes, Sir Danny Faulkner.
Okay.
Because he had written, what was that? What was that comment that I just saw that he hasn't met a.
Whose comment?
Danny Faulkner says that he hasn't met a flat earther that couldn't challenge him, or something like that. So we call him Sir Danny Faulkner. It's true. So I'm excited to meet him. Say hi to him.
Yeah.
Check out, see if he has his Masonic ring on.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's gonna be looking. What kind of handshake are you doing?
I think I'm wondering if he brought his bear with him. So, because he always takes his like bear all over the world with him. And I don't know if you guys see that he has a Facebook page for his teddy bear. I'm not even joking. It's not. I couldn't make that up if I wanted to. He has a Facebook page for a teddy bear that he's had since he was a boy or something, which is a little odd and strange. So, yeah.
To each their own.
So, you know, we're driving through Texas, and we were kind of thinking, man, this would look a little different. It kind of looks just like Ohio to me.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
You know what? I mean, that's the thing. It's like we're really not that far from all these things. So, you know.
Arkansas was really hilly. I didn't expect it to be so hilly.
Yeah, how can... Is that what... You know, is it so hilly and so, like, everything is like a roundabout and a turn?
Literally. We couldn't even go, like, 50 feet without another roundabout.
Yeah.
At least when you got off the highway.
For sure. And it was nuts. Is that the same where you're at, Dustin? If you're still watching?
Well, Dustin was in Oklahoma.
Well, no, he lives in Arkansas.
Oh, true, sorry.
Yeah. I'm asking if that's where, you know, if it's the same thing, because he was about 3 or 4 hours further in Arkansas than where we were at. But yeah, definitely, this is definitely very flat.
April, I am very excited to see the cookbook. Yes. Mia's going to be doing the Flat Earth Hustle, arriving around 11 p.m. Oh, are you guys driving as well or flying? do
fly,
all of
how we
our
can
driving.
how we can get our vehicle back.
I did threaten that I'm driving home, or I'm flying home by myself. During my worst moment of panic attack, I did threaten I was going to look up flights for myself.
You know, because I got, you know, she was having such a panic attack because I got, what was it, 20 feet from the car in front of me.
No.
And there was like,
No, it
there was
was not
like
that
two
time.
semis behind
It was
us.
the aggressive semi that was running us off the road. It was
She didn't
during
even see
that
it.
moment.
She admitted she didn't even see it.
No. It was during his cat and mouse game and his flashing and honking and everything that he was doing to us.
Okay, so Dustin, if you're still there, how do you turn these people in that want to run you off the road for doing absolutely nothing?
In their mind, we were not going fast enough in the fast lane, but we were walled in and couldn't get around.
And so every
the
time
other
we would let
semis.
this person get in front, which we'd let this semi get in front of us.
Well, he'd be flashing his brights, so we'd
get
over as quickly as we could.
And then he would get right in front of us on the other lane, and then he would go slow and get around us. And then we had to get around him because he's now dropped to like 60. And we're like, what is this guy doing? And then he immediately gets right behind us and does this constantly. And so the only thing that I think that happened was when we entered the on-ramp, he came in flying probably at 70, 75 miles per hour on the on-ramp, and he needed to yield to us, and we weren't, we weren't like willing to just like slow down for this guy to like fly onto the on-ramp because there was cars all around us, so we couldn't even really get over. And so he like laid on his horn, and for the next 25 miles, this guy just kept doing that over and over until he got fed up to the one point where he purposely, when we got over, he tried to run us off the road. So I had to drive in the berm until he got in front of me.
Get their license plate and call 911. Yep, get their truck number and call their company. Yeah, we tried.
He had no number on the back of his place.
When we finally thought of it, we tried to speed up to him, but he just raced off. I mean, literally, the dude was trying to go 100. No lie.
And then would drop down to 60 so that we would get behind him, or he would drop to 60 once we were behind him, and he just kept doing this for like 25 miles. So it was pretty bad.
Yeah,
he was probably one of those.
Move.
He was probably one of those globe earthers.
Never saw an officer around anywhere. That was rough.
We've barely seen police on this whole trip.
Yeah, very, very little.
And the only police that we've seen
in Ohio, they're all over the place.
We saw an accident where a car was flipped because they ran over the.
They hit black ice.
Yeah, they hit black ice.
That was in Kentucky.
So we saw cops. There's a cop up here right now.
Was he trying to cause an accident? I don't know. Yes, totally candy cane. Totally.
Yes. It was totally joyride all over again.
It is so hard to say. I think the guy was, I don't know, he was just an aggressor, angry person. Obviously. I don't know. Truck number will be on the hood. Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why he did not want us to get close enough to him.
Yeah, we were trying to find, the sticker thing on the back. How's my driving? Horrible. So why don't you... Who are these evil people? I think they need their own highway. Afterwards, we were talking with Riley about it because then Riley was getting a little scared. I think I was rubbing off on him.
You were rubbing off on him.
And we were both coming up with solutions on how the road systems could be done better and how we all wish that it was Back to the Future, part 2. Back to the Future part 2. Where all of our cars would just take us automatically, you don't drive, you just get in your car, close everything off, read a book, and it just zooms you where you need to go.
Well, you still had to drive in Back to the Future too.
Well...
You had to fly.
He flew, yeah, I guess that's true. He did fly. Well, forget that. We're well beyond... what was that? 2015. I always think of that. the cops are everywhere in Ohio.
You're helping out.
Oh, you want to take that?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Or do you need help with? What you
Couldn't read. Yeah. Somebody just made a comment that I couldn't see about taking it. I appreciate all
Oh, that
you
was
got.
the cops.
Yeah.
Yes. Ohio cops, they make a lot of money.
Yes, they do.
Don't mind me as we Jerry rig our DVD player.
And I truly appreciate, you know, this is like, gives us the appreciation for what you guys do when you come to take on the world. Because
Totally.
this is not like easy to like get your family in the car, deal with every stress, make sure you didn't forget anything, and then jump
Have
in the
all the
road,
things
live
that
on
you
the road.
need. Oh my goodness.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna tell you a very graphic story. Okay, very graphic. And so if you guys are eating lunch, you may want to jump off because we had just stopped off at a Valero. Okay? And
Wait. Hold that thought. What is up with these states not having rest stops? So yes, Ohio
Are
may.
you like being like, this is like your Jerry Seinfeld one, like, what's with these rest stops?
Good impression. I can't do that. Chris is sort of like
What's with the lack of these rest stops?
Ohio has rest stops like every few miles. You just easily pull off, go to the restroom, pull right back on, sailing. Good. But there are no rest stops. They are like 100 miles apart from one another.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking once you reach these areas, nobody has frequent urination problems. Everybody has perfect digestive systems, so they don't need to stop. So I must think.
Nobody drinks anything, and they're ultra dehydrated.
But you know what? Here we go. Actually, we know that's not true because I'm about to tell you a very vile, very disgusting story.
Well, they could have, eaten at El Taquitos or something, and
Yeah, there's a lot of El Taquitos. That place doesn't even exist. What is El Taquito?
there's a lot of strange Mexican places around. I've seen the signs.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways, we stopped off at a Valero because that was the only place to stop, and I went into the men's restroom, and I'm not even kidding you. This place had not plunged their toilet. Probably for at least a week now. So the toilet paper that mounted it was like overflowing onto the floor, and I'm like, this is unreal. I mean, it's like they had no out of order sign. People were still going in using, and there was only one stall to use in this whole thing. And it's like people were still using it. It's like all the guys would go in there and still do their business, and then just wound up more toilet paper and put it on top, and you walk in and this place smelled so bad, and it's like, what do you even do? And then it's like, I'm gonna look to see if the women's room is like usable, because I want to add to this mess.
I always take Riley into the women's restrooms whenever we stop, because I just know, like, as much as you say, don't touch this, don't touch that, he's gonna touch it. That's
it's gonna
just
be
how
10
it goes.
times worse in the men's.
Yeah, he always
And the
comes in
women's
with
room
me.
was like, it was like clean. They had just
It
cleaned
wasn't pristine.
No, of course it wasn't pristine.
But it wasn't atrocious either.
I mean, I could have ate lunch in the women's room. Now, not on the floor, but I could have eaten lunch in there and not felt so grossed out. I mean, you couldn't even walk in the other room. I don't know. I'm not even exaggerating. It was probably
we don't need to know.
4 rolls of toilet paper.
Too much TMI.
4 rolls of toilet paper on top, and people were just still adding to this mess. Like, okay.
It might as well.
So that was Arkansas. So Dustin, if you're still watching, man, you gotta give me some hope that's not like everybody in Arkansas thinks that's okay for the guys, because that was crazy. I mean, I've seen things bad before, but I had never seen them that bad. And they weren't shutting that thing down. It was like, everything's all right. Jimmy's gonna come in later with his rubber gloves and throw it in a big bucket. That kind of approach. Like, it's all good.
So Dustin says only choose the Loves. The Loves
okay.
stop. You're right.
Loves was nice and clean in Ohio.
Yeah, it was. It for sure was.
And they're attached to Uncle John's tacos, right?
Right. And the Reynolds are in the house. Hey, Nathan, we can't wait to see you.
Yeah.
He said just to sell everything and own an RV, and then you'll never have to use one of those ever again.
You'll never have to use them again, but you know what? Here's the worst part about it. You have to then dump all that stuff yourself. And you've told me horror stories, my friend. So, and that is one thing that I won't, I'll deal with indoor plumbing as long as I can.
Chris isn't equipped to deal with that. He's an ultra germaphobe.
Yeah.
Even with his own germs.
And especially a son, and I will tell you.
Oh, that's right. So remember, we saw pictures. They switched it all to the compost toilet. Yeah, but is it still gross? Tell us the truth. Yes. Because I don't know.
Yeah. So this is, I have to throw Riley under the bus right now.
So Chadwick's in the house, and he goes, I
don't even want him in the house. Chadwick never calls me.
He's commenting about your Arkansas comments, and he says, just blame it all on the Clintons.
The Clintons.
Yes.
They're gonna call me. I'm like, I've been waiting. And I know, and then he'll say every time he calls me, I don't pick up. That's not my fault, man. That is not my fault. That is not my fault.
Hey, he'll be free right when we're off of this.
Yeah, right. I don't want to talk to him, but I'm mad at him. I'm gonna throw Riley under the bus because he's 7 years old. And
We're never gonna throw him under the bus. Can we just not say that, please?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna I will deal with indoor plumbing, even though this guy is the king of clogged toilets.
The king clogger.
Riley he clogs the toilets. He'll clean. He's
these secret shows. You're just gonna learn all of our secrets
on this trip, right? So, I mean, I don't know if Liz has ever clogged a toilet. And
it depends on the toilet. Some don't have.
This guy has done it probably 60, 70 times in his life. So it is, or it may feel like 60, 70 times in a year. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
So, okay, so now that we can move off of this disgusting talk, we are still 85 miles from our distance.
Go Riley, yep.
Yeah, so we're still hours and hours away.
We like to eat a lot of fiber.
Yeah.
We have healthy colons.
But no, Riley will use a whole roll of toilet paper on all of his number ones.
We go through so much toilet paper. Ugh, it's awful.
So, so it reminded me, I will say, walking into that Valera reminded me of going into the bathroom after Riley.
Well, he flushes.
Times 100 times.
Okay.
Where, times 10,000.
I'm surprised you didn't bring in your favorite story of the porta potty at the Alive Music Festival.
No, people.
That for sure would bring up someone's lunch.
Yeah. Why would I even do that? That would not be good. That was not good. If you guys have ever been to an outdoor event, you know what I'm talking about.
Composting toilet, no clogs. Now that's a little enticing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris has been known if we've been on the back roads and he's dying to go to the bathroom, any construction site where there's a porta potty, we're stopping. We for sure are so much needed. Girls are for sure. I don't ever want to step into a men's restroom.
Yeah, but
I hear all about it. I never want to go.
When you go to men's rooms are the worst. By far, they're the worst.
And then you'll always tell me, and that guy didn't wash his hands, and that guy didn't wash his hands.
Yeah, that's unreal. So we have this store in Ohio. It's called Ollie's, and it was like a year ago. So you walk into this place, it is so bad and I've been this guy before, I'll admit it. So if you ever walked into a bathroom, there's urine all over the floor. I've let Riley, because walking up to the toilet and the things that he would, just
Have to step in.
into just to get so close. I remember him going in there, and I just picked him up. I said, all right, just go. And he peed all over the floor, and I had no shame in that, because if they weren't going to clean this toilet,
You just joined the pool.
I mean, it was like so bad, and it's been that bad every time I've walked into that place.
April, you have an Ollie's too?
Yeah, don't go into their bathrooms, at least the ones in Ohio. They are so bad. It's unbelievable. At our Ollie's, they have mostly young workers, so those workers just don't care. And then also thrift stores too.
Maybe.
Thrift stores are the worst. Thrift store restrooms are the worst. Now Goodwills are clean. If you guys have you guys ever noticed all Goodwills smell the same? They have like a Goodwill spray that they spray to mask the odor of all these dingy clothes that they bring in, and all the smells of people's mildew.
It's like Febreze.
It's not Febreze. It's like almost like a fruity type of weird smell. But there is a Goodwill spray. That's why all Goodwills smell exactly the same. Their bathrooms are clean. But man, we go to a lot of thrift stores now.
Okay, so
And they're terrible.
both Dustin and April says we need to visit Buc-ee's. Is that how you pronounce that? What is that? Is it just a restroom place?
We're not really into checking out restaurants. Now, it could be a thrift store.
Wait, or is it a spray? I'm confused. Is it like one of those poopery sprays? I don't know.
Or it could be a store. Maybe it's a store. And they have really nice bathrooms.
Oh, it's the best gas
It's
station
the best
in
gas
life. Okay, so better than Love's. Tell me what do they have there? Or just really clean
Hey, I will
bathrooms?
tell you the bathrooms that we're getting in Ohio, or not the bathrooms, the gas stations we get in Ohio now. We got kombucha in ours.
Yeah,
We're
which
starting
one
to
is
get,
that? Is that
those are now all the new super ones.
Oh.
They got like healthy food and
No, that's not a Speedway. Sheets. Is that Sheets?
not just sheets,
No.
but they're popping up almost like they're picking up their game. I remember when Jake and John came out to the first 2017 Take on the World, and they were raving about our gas stations. You might need to plug this in. They were raving about our gas stations. Like, you guys have health food in the gas stations. We were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
We don't eat any of that stuff
We
at gas
wouldn't
stations.
know. We don't go to the gas stations to eat.
And Jake worked at a health food store before, and he's like, no, there were food that we carried in the health food store that is sold in your gas stations. You should come to Indiana, and you'll find out we have none of that in our gas stations. It is just nothing but garbage. So I found that extremely comical. But now driving through all these gas stations and looking, it's all pretty much exactly what he was saying. So not all places, but definitely the vast majority is. It's just if you live on the road, typical gas station food. Which Tony, I'm gonna throw him under the bus, which I can't
Buc-ee's.
do.
Okay, Buc-ee's, the Costco of gas stations. Ooh. Okay, we are going to be on the lookout. Thanks for the heads up.
Now, I will say it is a little weird when you buy lunch or dinner at the place you get gas. Probably should get out a little more. Tony picked up a bunch of chicken nuggets. I had no idea how long these things were sitting there. And Tony's like, "Oh, I'll get 2 of these." So Tony got that. He got a whole bag of Doritos. He got.
Chris is always picking on his food choices.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
So this Buc-ee's has bathrooms, good bathrooms, food, clothes, knickknacks, chocolate-covered pecans. Well, we're looking for some,
look, I'm from Tennessee now. I really am. My mom's from Tennessee, so I grew up with an accent.
No,
So,
you didn't.
yes, I did. You didn't know, Liz. I did grow up with an accent.
His mom does have a slight accent. She does.
Yeah.
And especially whenever we go down to visit, it comes right back, and it carries for a
Yeah.
while.
And I'll tell you, I got a good friend, and his name's David. And I've been trying to get David to come take on the road for a while. David's got this, like, he's like from Arkansas and Tennessee.
I think he's from Alabama.
Alabama, you're right. Alabama. I'm sorry. I had Arkansas.
Arkansas on the mind.
But he's got this Alabama Tennessee accent. So I was like, hey, it's David. So
Chris loves to talk like him.
when he calls, I love David, and you know, which is ironically, I have a customer. His name is David, and he's from North Carolina, and his accent's like this. It's like, hey, it's David. So it's just like almost the same, and it's like sometimes I don't know which David I'm talking to, and both of them answer the phone. They're like, hey, it's David, like that, and you're like, good thing I got caller ID, because I would not know. So that's my, like, you know, the accents. But yeah, I did have an accent for a long time, and it really did. And you know what's so funny about accents? My mom's lived in Ohio since she was like 19, and she had me like, I don't know how many years later. And she's lived there, you know.
Early 20s.
Yeah, early 20s still. And she had me 4 years after my sister, so whenever that took place. And if you talk to my mom, she has zero accent. But the minute somebody from Tennessee calls her on the phone, like, this accent comes out of her like nobody's business. When we go to Tennessee to visit, it's like the accent just comes back. So I think now that I've been, getting closer to Texas now, I'm getting kind of like that southern drawl as I get closer down here. So I really don't know. Do people still talk with an accent down here in Texas? Because I think I'm getting that same thing. It's got to be something in my DNA as I get to these southern states, you know, and I kind of have that. I have that sound naturally in me.
Dustin says he gets. Is that?
Dustin really doesn't have that.
Yooper accent.
Yeah, Dustin
that comes back hanging around Robbie.
Okay.
Do your Robbie accent.
Oh no, I can't do your Robbie accent.
Oh yeah, you can.
No, I can't.
No.
No, because then
you just
Tony.
don't want to.
Because then Tony will do it, and everybody be like, "Oh, Tony's really good at doing it." You know who's the best at doing Robbie Davidson is Rick Hummer.
Oh well, Rick Hummer can do everybody.
Yeah, but it is so good. It is so comical. Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to hear what's going on with Robbie. Secret show. You guys can't say anything, but I can't say anything. But there's some big news with Robbie coming up, so I can't wait for you guys to hear that. It'll be super, super cool, and it's gonna hit you like a truck. You didn't know it hit you. So yeah, super, super pumped for that. Yeah, but we got to get through FEIC first, and we still got. If you guys are watching, you didn't check us out last time. We got new shows coming up. We got season 2 of Reality Distortion. In fact, I've been waiting on episode 2. I haven't seen it uploaded yet. So if you're still watching, Holy Hand Grenade, I want to see episode 2. Because you're building on a platform. He's going to be actually showing some featured clips from some documentaries. And these were some of the documentaries that we first came into all these topics. And
Riddles in the Stone?
Yeah, Riddles in the Stone.
What Lies Behind the Curtain?
No, not What Lies Behind the Curtain. It's Riddles in the Stone, Eye of the Phoenix, and Secrets of Our Founding Fathers. And those are films by Chris Pinto, and they are awesome. If you guys haven't seen them, you got two dichotomies within the Christian world about how to talk about the founders of this country. You got the David Bartons, who want to perpetuate this whole realm of all our founding fathers were these Christian men, and then you've got the truth. And if you want the truth, go directly to these Chris Pinto films, and it's got some awesome stuff in there, and it walks through so many aspects of history that I think everybody, if you live in this know these things. They're not nothing you need to fixate on. I mean, none of the things that we need to fixate on. But I think these are some very essential elements, and then they will change. He just sneezed on the back of your head, which was gross. So this is what happens in long car rides. Those, I love those films. They're like 3 hours.
Ian says the new YouTube rules may be problematic. Let's hope not.
Well, when you upload them, don't monetize them, and we should still be able to get them uploaded. I mean, we're not looking to monetize them, so you're looking to build on them so that you can get to your live episodes and shows, because these are some really important premises you need to build on to understand. We all have heard it before. To understand where we're going, we have to know where we've been, and these films are instrumental. Like understanding it, that America is the new Atlantis. That was a lot of stuff that was in the last film that Ian did.
And Dee wants to know if there's going to be deep thoughts with Chris tonight.
Deep thoughts? No.
Probably not.
You know what? There will be something tonight.
Slow down.
And I'm going to have 1 million people around me, so I'm going to just take the camera and be the super annoying guy at FEIC and putting cameras in people's faces the whole time and getting them to do shows. So there will be not deep thoughts with me. There will be deep thoughts with others. I don't know how that sounds, but it sounds kind of strange. But yes, we will be doing something. I never went to FEIC, so this is my chance to show all you guys who have never been what it's like. At the same time, I'm experiencing it, and the only problem is it's going to make it go by super fast.
It will. Yeah. And you do have to practice tonight.
I do have to.
Because Chris and Michael are going to be speaking early Thursday morning. So if everybody watching can say a prayer for Chris and Michael, I know they would greatly appreciate it. They have a powerful message to give to the audience and to everybody who's streaming live. So just pray that the Spirit would speak through them, give them the right words to speak, a clear mind, and that they can stay on track too.
Yeah, and I still don't even know how we're speaking at this thing. Like,
because
really?
they're one of the first speakers, so if they go over, that's going to be hard for Robbie.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that at least my friends from Take on the World, you guys that are watching that are going to be there, that you'll be in our talk and you will boycott Nathan Thompson's talk because he's speaking at the same time as us.
Oh, don't say boycott.
Well, yeah, we say boycott because it's on,
Maybe you could hop back and forth.
Why would you want to do that?
That's true.
Why would you want to do that?
Chris is going to be dropping some truth.
No. No, I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. I'm actually hoping that there's not that many people. But I have a feeling somehow like maybe Danny Faulkner will be sitting in the front row.
Do we have links to the stream? It is all on Robbie's website. You do have to pay for the live streaming.
Yes,
correct?
but if you don't get the live stream now, I think in a couple weeks Robbie's going to release everything to YouTube anyways. So if you don't pay for it, you're just going to have to wait. But you will get to see every single presentation for free. Robbie always does that, and just not right away. So, but what's a great option is do a watch party and share. Get a couple people together, and if you're working, at least watch the evening sessions. Together with a group or something, and everybody chip in like $5-10.
Do you remember how much it is?
It's like $40. It's $40.
It's 40.
Yeah, $40 for 2 days, and that gives you even the comedy show too. So, which I don't think is going to be clean.
We're excited to see what's in store.
Yeah, I mean we have to. Yeah.
Yes, April, doing a presentation in front of people is a totally different ballgame than sitting behind your computer and, even, on YouTube, because it doesn't feel like
So, if you guys are praying for us, and, I'm already, used to being in front of people, because I'm not that guy. I'm not a public speaker. So, I got Michael Solomon.
People.
I got Michael Solomon on my side, but the one thing about Michael Solomon is me and Michael are like two peas in a pod, because even though he's like totally comfortable being in front of anybody, he's like a super procrastinator, and so am I. So we've been procrastinating so hardcore.
Well, there's just been a lot.
There's just been a lot to do.
So I wouldn't say
it's not on
been
purpose.
Intentional.
No.
It's just that more pressing needs have come up where you're like, oh, I gotta put it off another day.
Exactly. And that's why we haven't done Flat Out Insight show, because we need to do a show. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to do a Flat Out Insights episode on our presentation coming up, and we're going to be able to just comfortably say everything that we need to say. And if it takes 2 hours, it takes 2 hours, because our presentation should really, we have so much info in it that we have to just like skim over things to get to what we really need to get to. So if you see it, it's not going to be a, blow you away, so much information presentation. We're hoping our insight, why we call ourselves Flat Insight, will actually be what you guys see. So, and then we'll be able to go into those details. And for if you guys have been into this topic, you probably know a lot of the details already. Maybe some you don't. Not that they're super important.
You get interviewed by Alex Jones.
If I get interviewed by Alex Jones, yeah, that would be.
Now, do we know that he for sure is coming, or just his crew?
We just know his crew's coming.
Just the crew.
So, but not everybody.
Ian said he claims he's coming. Well, we'll be on the lookout.
Well, here's the deal. So, Robbie has been telling me that there is something huge coming to the FEIC, and
Insider
he would not.
info.
And he said there's, he can't tell me what it is, but dude, it's going to be huge. It's going to be massive. The last time he did that, it ended up being Logan Paul. So we were like, oh man. But the funniest thing ever, the funniest thing that I have ever witnessed in my life in a video, and probably because I know Robbie as well, so it wasn't like I was laughing at him, but watching that documentary,
so many junk calls.
Yeah, right?
Oh,
watching Logan Paul's documentary, if you haven't seen it, it's like 2 hours of your life you just want to get back at the end of it. But there's a really hilarious scene in it, which is in the beginning, where Mike, which is Logan's friend, who's the flat earther in the documentary, and Logan's looking into this. Mike takes him and starts telling him about the flat earth. It takes him into his room, and he rips down his bookcase, and behind his bookcase he has a shrine of Robbie Davidson, a picture of Robbie Davidson on the wall, his book taped to the wall, and here's their leader, Robbie Davidson, and his book Scientism Exposed, because they had bought the book from Robbie before the conference, and Robbie shipped it out to him. But it was so comical, just to see this thing that's going to get, which we knew was going to get over 5 million views right away, and to see Robbie, his picture on there, it was so funny. I mean, you couldn't make it up. So me and Robbie, he could not laugh about it at first.
Documentary. Yep, that's exactly
it
what
was.
it is.
And Robbie could not laugh about this, and I wanted to die laughing so hard when I was talking to him when all this first came out, and I couldn't, because I know he was really hurt by it. And now we can talk about it, and he dies laughing. So he made that call. He has to live with that call, and it was so funny. So that is easily the best part of the documentary, and which is kind of cool. I don't see it as like such a mocking. I see it as that the impact that we're having in teaching what the word actually says is having an impact that is reaching millions of people. I mean, that's mind-blowing just to think that. And we're just two students of a high school who was taught geocentric in high school.
Yeah. Where nobody thought anything.
And you know what? I would tell you, almost nobody else from that school, except for one that we know, and there's a handful of others. There's a handful of others that are definitely, behind the scenes. They don't come out in public. One of those is Tony. That's one thing that, we always talk about our story about geocentric, but Tony has the same story as us.
Yeah.
He was under the same student.
Taught through the same classes.
So I was in my class. Liz was 2 grades below me, and Tony was in the middle. And we all had the same teacher.
Yep.
And we all learned the same geocentric stuff.
And what's funny, when so we came to the revelation first that the Earth is flat, and it goes right back to our geocentric beginnings in high school. And so Chris shared it with Tony, and Tony was like, "Of course." And then he reached out to the science teacher. At that time, he had already retired, but Tony was able to get contacts because his parents still knew people that knew people that knew people. And the teacher didn't really want to have anything to do with it, and still denies flat Earth. I mean, he's not denying his geocentric teachings, but we're just sort of like, how could you not come to the same revelation?
He doesn't even have a desire to look into it, and that's okay.
It's sad.
And that's okay, but that's all right. With Tony, he was that guy early on, like posting every flat Earth meme, getting into millions of debates online. Like he had given up like 6 months of his life and just did nothing but research flat Earth for forever. And I'm like, dude, that's not what I told you to do. I was just like, dude, it's the truth in the word. And Tony definitely wasn't walking in the word. He will even say that he wasn't even saved based upon his actions. He had all the head knowledge, but he never had a change of the heart, and nothing ever truly changed. So the Tony you see now, and you can flip the car around and you can't come off wrong, but the Tony you see now in this car ahead of us.
Look at these wide open roads. Oh, this is glorious to me.
I know you can't see him, but Tony, we got to hang out with Tony all last night. I will tell you, I'm not that guy that ever had that has visions or whatever. God spoke to me. I'm not. No, I don't wish to be that guy, because that guy's always weird.
Oh, you mean the one that proclaims that?
Yes.
Oh,
the Lord spoke to me, and the Lord told me this. Look, I am not that guy, and I'm always pretty leery of anybody who's like that. Now, I have friends that are like that, but I will still be like, yeah, I'm still gonna question everything you say. It's always a little strange. So, but I had this moment when, Tony was going through his life of figuring out where he was, and Tony was he's coming on 30, and it's as you're getting to be 30, 31 years old, or even in your mid 30s, wherever this ended for Tony. You live that far away from him, you just give into your ways, and maybe some people never come out of it, and that is the absolute truth. But I always had this picture. It wasn't a vision, it was a picture of Tony in a winter. It wasn't a Christmas, it was a winter sweater with his wife and a child. And
What kind of sweater?
I don't know. It was some type of
like a Cosby sweater?
Yeah, like a Cosby style sweater. Like a wintry warm.
Which Tony would totally wear. Totally wear.
But almost
We're not even going to talk about the jacket he was wearing this morning.
But almost like a turtleneck. And I think that came from my vision of of family. things, right? That Tony's going to be a man of Yah, and he's going to have a family, and he's going to have kids. And in that picture, you know, that I always had in my mind, because you know what, so many people from our school and, you know, the church that he went to, they gave up on Tony. Tony was involved in substances. He was involved in just living his own lifestyle, multiple girlfriends, just living his own life. Always was the nicest guy.
Yes.
Would give you anything,
yes.
even throughout all those years. So there was still something that always, you know, was there for Tony. And Tony never like brought his vices on me, ever. He never asked me once to like partake in this, or even come around me and say, you know, lead me into a bad path. Never did he do that. And so we've always had a great relationship in that regards. And so I always knew that, you know, I'm called to be Tony's friend and just encourage him. And I was still not even where I needed to be, but I knew I was supposed to just like hold his hand through this process. We play basketball, we meet up, we hang out. You know, that was kind of our relationship. And we talk about things, we do these things, and I always had this picture. It was not a vision, it was a picture. It was actually like a picture frame. And there was a picture of him and his family. And he was, it was centered around when he settled down and desired those things is when he was serving the Creator, the Most High. And, if you guys know Tony now, we have seen transformation. So when you say that God's not, real, Yahweh's doesn't exist, we've seen him change people.
Yep.
That so many people have given up on. And,
awesome.
Tony doesn't even necessarily share his testimony because he's got so many other things to share. But,
he's got too much to share.
And so,
for all those wondering about this red Solo Cup back here, it's on quite an adventure. It had a lot of grapes in it at one point, and now it's just a
chew toy.
Yeah, chew toy.
Yeah. Riley loves dogs, and he acts like it. So, but yeah, I've always had that vision, not vision, but picture in my head, and I haven't seen them actually take the photo yet, but I know it's coming.
Yep.
And I'm hoping.
Was it a cute little smart baby girl in his hand?
You know what? Everything was blurry except for Tony.
Oh.
Everything was blurry except for Tony. Everything.
I tell you what, Lenny is just, oh my goodness. I'm going to take her home with me.
Somebody call the cops.
She's the cutest. And Riley loves her to pieces. It's the sweetest thing to witness.
Yep.
So cute.
So
I can't wait for all the babies.
Yeah,
all the babies that are going to be at FEIC.
So I get to share Tony, so you guys are all friends with Tony now. Right, Tony's been my friend, right? So, I do definitely get jealous.
You're just laying it all out here, aren't you?
Right? So I definitely do get jealous. So like when when everybody likes my friends, and and it's like, I knew Tony first. It's so funny. So many people would call in to take on the world, and there was one person in particular who was blessed by Tony's video so much, and she's like, I'm coming to see Tony, and I said to her, I really don't know who is this Tony guy you speak of, and she just kind of laid it on the line, from the way he looked to all the things he talked about and how genuine of a guy he was, all the way down. And as I heard her talking, I'm like, it's like you get that that feeling no, Tony's my friend. She's ready to be his best friend, and I'm like, you know what? This is so cool, and it's it's awesome, Michael Solomon, we brought him in, to do Flat Out Insights, and just he was doing a show with Zen Garcia, and it's wait a minute, this is my guy. What's he doing on his show? But you can't go and do that show. And not that I don't want these people to do these things. Of course I do, big time. But, you know, it's just like, it's so cool, you know, because especially with a guy like Tony, you know.
You just get sad when they don't call you.
No, I do not. I definitely do not. I am way too busy to do that kind of stuff. So, no, and when, like, people do call, you know, we're honored. You know, we don't, look, Robbie put me on the top line of his, you know, like, you know, JPEG image that he created for Facebook. And I'm like, what in the world are you doing?
Yes, D. Yes. It always goes to Deep Thoughts with Chris.
There it is. There it is. There it is. I gave it to you. I'm not giving it to you tonight. I gave it to you now.
We got 42 more miles to go until we hit 302.
Are we going to do all 42 miles or what? What's our battery at?
Oh yeah. I do need to get you plugged in.
So, why don't you tell everybody about your creations that you've created? Why don't you use
Ian
this?
says he's going to start calling you every
Why
night
don't you
now.
use this?
So
Why don't you use this one? Because it's like,
Oh, okay.
it's like an 8-foot cord.
Well, yeah. I got to undo it first.
What did Ian say?
He said he's going to start calling you every night now so you don't feel lonely.
I definitely don't feel lonely. It's okay. Trust me, I don't feel lonely. I'm teasing Ian.
What
Because
creations are you talking about, Chris?
what? Why don't you get out your creations?
Oh, they're not my creations.
Well, they sort of are. Pretend they're yours. Okay, so we were
I don't
talking.
need to get them out.
Yeah, you should because
They're way behind me.
I want some.
Oh.
So Liz created. Liz did create these. These are really good, and are all these raw?
No.
They're not raw, but they're pretty close. Yeah, Riley needs to eat a sandwich. So I got secrets, Chris. What kind of secrets you got, Ian? Yes, I did get to see a little bit. I watched a Top Secret. I did get to watch a little bit of Disputed Lands when I was in that Valaro bathroom.
Oh no!
When I was like, no, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, I did get this Disputed Lands. So that was awesome. So these are, what's not raw about these?
It is roasted. It is roasted nuts. So these little guys, one of my favorite recipe places to follow is Minimalist Baker. She's sort of like the Rachel Ray of plant-based, although recently she just started adding in a few egg dishes, a few meat things here and there, but predominantly she's always been plant-based. And
she does raw meat dishes now.
I don't know about raw meat dishes.
Yes, raw meat dishes. Minimalist, yeah, it's all raw.
I think you're joking.
Raw beef rolls.
Yeah, you're joking.
kidding.
Vegan paydays. Go get the recipe. Minimalist Baker. They're yummy. So I've made lots of different bite-sized
This whole
treats.
bag was filled to the top.
It was.
And the amount of fiber that this causes.
A lot of Valero stops.
So, what are the benefits of dates? I mean, dates are all over the Bible. And what are the benefits of the dates? Why should we consume dates?
They are like the perfect energy food because there's so much fiber to them, but there's so much natural sugars, and your body runs best on complex carbohydrates.
So these are keto.
Runs on glucose.
These are keto.
No, they are not.
I'm just kidding.
Right.
So wait a minute. That's interesting, right? So what about
So
the food?
dates are awesome,
So
but don't get the ones that are already pitted because they're just gross. They're dry and
dry.
crusty.
Yeah.
Get the ones that have the pits. It's worth a minute to pit them quickly. And then fill them with like sun butter or fill them with almond butter. Oh my goodness, that's like a Reese cup. The best Reese cup ever.
But what are the benefits?
So good. Well, the benefits of dates, they're not only energizing, but they're high in fiber. They're also high in iron.
They help to regulate blood sugars.
Right. Anybody who's on, say you're a little anemic, you have issues with iron, eat dates. If you're pregnant and you are like 2 months out, 6 weeks from delivery, eat like 5 to 6 dates a day. And it has literally been scientifically proven to make labor quicker and better, a little easier. I did not know that prior.
Look,
prior
right
to
there, right there.
expecting.
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's
time.
Buc-ee's. Nice.
So come get your ethanol at Buc-ee's. Awesome. I can't wait to go to the bathroom at Buc-ee's. Thanks for the tip, guys.
It's buffering a ton, so.
It's buffering there.
Mhm.
Hey, this actually should be back now. We got good connection.
Hopefully.
So if you didn't hear that, Buc-ee's is coming up. And
Ooh, along with Sulphur Springs. That does not sound appetizing.
so, okay, we're going to jump right into a true biblical health thing right now. So, eating the foods of the Bible, I think that is actually makes a whole lot of sense, doesn't it?
100%.
And so, one of our favorite foods
They lived a long time.
One of the favorite foods that is in season now at this time of the year is pomegranate.
Mm-hmm.
And pomegranate's all riddled throughout Scripture. And pomegranate is rich in not only antioxidants, it's alkalizing, anti-cancerous, great fiber,
And soluble fiber.
soluble fiber. Yeah. So.
And the pomegranate, when you cut it open, it sort of resembles a heart.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely fascinating when you look at a vegetable in its raw, natural state, and the design and makeup of it resembles an organ in the body, and then you already know it's good for that organ. It supports that organ. It's flavonoids and plant sterols
Just like
and
a carrot,
all of that.
A carrot looks like an eye. It's good for eyes, right?
It's like anybody who doesn't see the creator in this creation is just foolish. Absolutely foolish.
Yeah,
But
so
we
go
love
back,
pomegranates.
definitely go back to those. No matter what diet you choose, include all of those foods that are in the Scripture. Even down to the oils, all this stuff is so good for you. Whether it be an essential oil or even down to be a even
Hey, David!
olive oil.
You joined us at the perfect time.
David who?
David Arthur, of course.
Of course, David Arthur. David, we got your email.
Yes.
Got your email today.
We're still dry.
Yeah, so we will get you that email, no doubt about it. So David, I'm going to be sending David an email, and that is an email that we referenced in one of our shows.
Nice.
And what we're going to be what we talked about in that episode is what I'm going to send David, which is the 1952 David Dr. Mock study on clean and unclean tested them for toxins. So his primary focus wasn't parasites, it was toxin levels. And what he had determined, and this paper ended up being peer-reviewed, and what he had proven was every creature that was clean was virtually toxic-free, and every animal that was unclean was riddled in toxins. And they were all over the board. So, as you go into more specifics, some of the stronger toxin foods, for example, pigs are more toxic than rabbits, but not, but rabbits are still, toxic, right? There's still toxin levels to every single thing that he said was unclean for us. And toxins are at the root of disease in a lot of cases. And so, so that's where that's why we always tell people eating a toxin-free diet shouldn't just be like, your do's and don'ts list. So if you're eating meat that's toxic, don't eat it. If you're eating, boxed vegan food that's still toxin-driven, or inorganic food, it's still toxin-driven. Try to remove as many of those toxins. Now, our bodies are designed to detoxify, and that is absolutely true. So the biggest argument we always get when we say that is, well, our bodies are designed to detoxify, so it's okay to eat toxic food. Well, you know what?
Our body is bombarded on a daily, minute-to-minute basis with so many more toxins than we have ever been exposed to.
And
ever.
so, for example, somebody like me, my whole life, I've had gallbladder or liver, issues, which means I don't handle toxins well at all.
Can we just share something? We're going to share more of this in detail later, but
yeah, this is like for just
prior to us leaving, Chris has just been feeling awful.
Yes, I had a bad misalignment in my neck, and I had to get an adjustment. So April, when I was doing that show who was I doing that show with? Now I can't even remember. I was doing my secret show, and with Doug Kirshner, of course. And she's like, it looks like Chris needs an adjustment, which is what was absolutely true. And now I'm a little sore from that. I had some really bad drops that took place.
He didn't get just a normal adjustment. He got a drop adjustment on the table that elevates, and then
so it was bad. I was getting
slams
headaches.
You down to.
I was getting headaches for like 2 weeks.
To get the neck alignment.
But
But you were just having a patch. So we called up Dr. Munzo. For everybody who saw Dr. Munzo at Take on the World 19, his office is about 40 minutes or so from us. He's just an incredible doctor.
Oh, and right when you're done, we're going to talk about Munzo and some interesting things about the feast days. So I'm going to talk about that.
Okay.
So don't let me forget.
All right, we are up at an hour and a half now. Thanks for sticking with us, everyone. So Dr. Munzo, if you haven't seen his presentations that are on Take on the World TV, the best one, in my opinion, I love the Althoff body system presentation that he did. It's up now, HD. You can see the PowerPoint. You sort of do have to watch the one prior. I forget the name of his first one to understand the second one.
But both
fully.
diagnose and pinpoint things because
it's the total package. But what's amazing is that so many of us who have dug into health and have looked at our own health know about the MTHFR gene mutations. And you hear about epigenetics and how you can alter your genes by your diet and lifestyle. And you gotta watch those tires because we've been driving at high speeds.
I got the tips.
I know. But we hear about these specific gene mutations that have been passed down that, we're just stuck with. We have to overcompensate by trying to eat better, not be exposed to toxins so that we can help our body detoxify because these gene mutations limit our body's detoxification abilities. Well, in Dr. Munzo's testing, typically somebody would get a blood test done and they would test only a certain number of MTHFR mutations to see, double or single mutation. Dr. Munzo was able to look at all of it in one pass, and he could see that Chris's issues that he's dealt with for a number of years, the pinpoint of them is these mutations that he's had his whole entire life. And I just sat back like, well, makes sense. Makes sense. So how do we overcome this? We need to look at these specific supplements. All of this is going through my head. And he's like, look, the body is the most intelligent computer system out there. Every computer system has programs. You can rewrite these programs and therefore alter the system. And I was like, so you're telling me that you can change these mutations? Yeah, I've seen it done. It can, it takes a few months, maybe a little bit longer, but it can be done. You can completely alter your genes and completely alter your health. Mind-blowing. Absolutely
we know with like
mind-blowing.
epigenetics and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I've never. It's just a whole another level. So I can't wait to be sharing more.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great
more
episode.
With Dr. Munzo.
But I talked to Dr. Munzo about him coming on and talking about the feast days, because now I'm gonna either get you guys angry or upset, and I'm not saying which side I roll on this, but it was very interesting, and I'm gonna save it for a show, but I'm gonna give you the highlights of it now. And so go ahead. I want you to, if you guys can still hear us, and chime in on this, because I want you to chime in, because this all has to do with the biblical feast. And so we know that there are 7 biblical feasts, right? And we all, if we keep them or know a little bit about them, we probably can all rattle them off the top of our heads. Well, we got together with Dr. Munzo for, it was the last day of Sukkot, but we did a teaching on the 8th day. And so he was the one who did the teaching, and we just walked all the way through Scripture. So we have always learned, coming into understanding the feast, is that there are 4 spring feasts, or a spring and a summer, and then there's 3 fall feasts, right? So if you guys could hear us, if you agree to that, that's the standpoint that we'll start off with. However, that is not what Dr. Munzo no longer teaches, and he let us just go and read Scripture. We just read Scripture, and so look, I know we can all fight about this and get angry, but this was a very interesting, and it does make a whole lot of sense. And he's going to come on and do this presentation. So he teaches the exact opposite. He actually teaches that there's 3 feasts, or Moedim, because not all Moedim are feast. There's only 3 feasts out of the Moedim. And he would say that there's 3 Moedim in the fall, or 3 Moedim in the spring, and 4 Moedim in the fall. And how that breaks down, and why that's important, he's going to, I'll go a little bit into it. He's going to go through the whole show. And so I'm not going to be able to answer all the questions, all the things that he's done the research on. But obviously start off with Passover, right? And then you go to unleavened bread. And then we automatically jump right to first fruits and then Shavuot. But the scripture says this is called the Feast of Weeks. And it starts with first fruits and it ends with Shavuot. You actually can't find, you can find Feast of Weeks more than you can find Shavuot and first fruits. They are part of the same feast. They're part of the same thing that's going on. So, which I found very interesting. He walks through the scripture to show that, because we must come up with only 7. We can't have 8. We can't have, something different. And so when we go into the spring, or leave the spring, we go into the fall. Now we're talking about the return of Christ and all the things prophetically that are about to happen. And the reason I talk about this is because I'm going to be actually talking about this at FEIC. So there's my little thing that I wasn't going to say, but I did say it. So I'm going to be talking about some of this there. And I'm going to pull it together, hopefully, for everybody there. And in the fall, we've got trumpets, which is the return of Christ. Then we've got the Day of Atonement, the righteous judgment that is coming. Then we've got Sukkot. And as we walk through Sukkot is for 7 days, right? And there's only 7 days in a week, so Manzo's going to go into this whole presentation and how the 8th day is separate, it's different, and it completes that realm of 7. So 3 in the springtime, which encompasses both of those things. Now here, everybody can get upset about how you classify it. Is it 4 and 3 or 3 and 4? The big thing is, are we walking? Are we keeping in these things? Are we remembering what He's done for us and honoring His salvation, His precious gift that He's given to us? Are we doing that? Are we walking in that? That we don't keep them because we're saved. We celebrate them because we are saved. And people that somehow want to bash us because we talk about the feast days, they all have to do with His death, burial, and His resurrection, and the giving of the Holy Spirit, right? With Pentecost. I mean, they're all right here. They're all pretty amazing things, and they're the cornerstones of our faith. But then in the fall, when we lump the 8th day into Sukkot, we sort of take away all the aspects prophetically. So, I went on that little bit of that thought pattern earlier. So when, like the 7th day that I was given, and if you saw it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, probably not going to say it again. Because it's just way too hard to say all in this one. But Sukkot is during that millennial when He reigns together with us, and the 8th day is the completion when we're talking about infinity, forever. And so there's that realm of the 8th day that we kind of lose sight and focus on when it's just lumped directly into Sukkot. Now, I know they're all intertwined and connected, so that's not the debate or the argument. But I think there's a great, at least a light bulb moment for me when I saw this and said, hey, this definitely makes a lot of sense. So that episode's coming. And look, it's not one that we can end up fighting about, because if we're keeping the feast, we're all going to, still continue to keep them. Just because we may say, well, first fruits is part of the Feast of Weeks. No, it's not. It's separate, and it's part of it, but there are 2 separate things inside of it. It's just at this point it's schematic, so it's nothing to fight about. But I just found it really interesting, and there's only a handful of people teaching that I've actually discovered or found, and it definitely seemed to make a lot of sense. It's coming from a doctor. Manzo speaks like a doctor, so he's very intelligent.
Well, he's not only a doctor, but he went to seminary.
Yeah, he went to seminary, so he's well, and it doesn't, I mean, I've got deep thoughts, and I got no. Yeah, so. And that does not mean any of the things.
And you are wise because you have your wisdom teeth.
I have wise because I'm a
yes.
or that I'm just like a bumbling idiot, which is probably most likely more the case than my wisdom teeth. So.
14 people are watching, so you're not a bumbling idiot.
Well, these
at least 15 people.
These 14 people we probably all call friends. So it's not like, so it's just like a big family party, like talking around the dinner table.
We're hanging out.
Eating like vegan paydays.
Eating our paydays.
Yes. And they're in their kitchen making those right now. So I don't know. I don't know. Was there any comments on that?
Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, amen. Food for thought. I can see that. Yep.
Yeah.
David's been digging into Alan's book, Feast Unlocked.
Now Alan was not so like prone to accept this when I talked about it. He's like, I don't want to change my book. I don't want to change his book. But it doesn't take away the beauty. I mean, Alan's book is awesome, and some of the insight in there is so deep and so good. Alan's got so much stuff. I mean, that's the thing.
And I haven't got through all of it either, David. I'm a slow reader when it comes to those things. I've never been a book reader.
And as you jump into it, David, I'll say it publicly, and I think you're going to be a perfect guy to really jump in, because you know what Jesus has done in your life, what Yeshua has done in your life, and it's like your ministry is all about him. Everybody might say, oh no, he's in a ministry that reaches out to these people. No, you are in a ministry to tell the world about him. That's what you do. And yes, it delivers people, right? And so, when we come to the feast days, if we're going to get wrapped up in, Jewish traditions, if we're going to get wrapped up into things that may be good, and there's a lot of goodness that there has been in traditions. Not all traditions are bad. But if we lose sight and focus on him and what we're trying to reveal, we're going to lose every time. And I'll give that story. There's a gal that we know, and we saw a couple years ago, she was keeping Passover. And she goes, just goes to a normal church, and she was keeping Passover. And she did one of these things, or she did one of these, 20 things you don't know about me type of Facebook silly games. And I was scrolling through Facebook one day, and she wrote this thing, and she's not connected to any of these, any of the communities that we know or anything like that. She keeps Passover. Her family walks into feast days, and because they see Jesus in all these things. And what was so cool was, in there she wrote, one of the things she had to write was, what was her favorite holiday, and what does she like to serve? What's her favorite dish to create for the holiday? And there's a bunch of other 20 things, like, do you have tattoos, right? But I was like watching the comments, because that's what it was all centered on. Like, nobody was like commenting on like, she had never been to another foreign country or something, right? Or she went to something. Nobody was talking about that. They were all asking her questions. Evangelical Christians were asking her questions about Passover, and asking her, what's Passover? What truly about? I know it's in the Bible. What is it truly about? And she's in there telling everybody about Passover, and they are all eating it up, because they all are just so curious about their Messiah, and they just loved it. And she's just leading and telling.
It's beautiful.
I mean, I had never seen a post done this way. They had hundreds of comments.
That has reached more people.
And none of them were negative comments. Not one was negative. And they said, hey, can my family join you? Because we want to learn more about, our Savior. We want to know more about Jesus. We want to know more about him. And it's like, maybe they didn't have, maybe they're not saying Yeshua or Yahushua or this or that. So maybe our community would say, these guys are just a bunch of phonies. And then we'd be like, no, these guys are all about him. This is all that this is about. This is all that all of this is about. They're walking in the truth of his death, burial, and the resurrection, teaching their family these things, these beautiful pictures that are in Scripture that reveal the most vital parts of our faith. And it was amazing. And it's like, we didn't even comment, we didn't even jump in on that one. We were just like, it changed how we approached it, because I would have gone on Facebook before as Liz's page, because I don't have a Facebook page, and I would have gone on there maybe at Passover one year and did a post how, Jesus is our Passover lamb, not our Easter ham, right? And then I would have riled up a bunch of Christians to get all angry and upset with me, and I'm going, I just want, I have to have them believe how I believe. And then I go and see a post like that, and ever since then, that's been like 3 or 4 years ago, since we've seen that. And, they continue to keep Passover and, walk in his ways and train their family in those things. And, they don't need to do anything other than that, because they're representing the Messiah in a beautiful, loving way, and people are actually, learning more about it, studying it out. Nobody said, "What are you trying to be Jewish?" We all go out there and we post things on Facebook, and we either get, "Did you walk away from the faith? Do you still believe in Jesus? Are you Jewish now?" How come this girl didn't get one of these questions? How come her family doesn't get one of these questions, and everybody wants to join them? Because Jesus is the centerpiece and the focus.
It's all about the approach.
And then she used Jesus, and then we would say, we'll throw up these red flags. And that's where we've learned so much by watching, so many people, and ourselves make bad mistakes when it's like.
So we've learned to sit back, to not be the meme poster on Facebook, to just.
Well, we want to at times.
Oh, for sure. Hold back our comments and just watch and insert, when we can, when we think that it's going to be fruitful. But otherwise,
Yeah, when I saw that, and that's why I love Alan so much. Just at least, I know Alan, and I don't agree with Alan on everything. I don't. He knows it. There's things that we disagree on. I mean, and there's things he disagrees with me on, clearly. Like that. But there's more. But, overall, I know what, Spirit presides in him. And so he's great at teaching the feast, because he's been walking in him such in a long time that he's been able to bring so many people into the fold to see what these feasts are about, which happens to be the most vital parts of our faith. And so I'm going to be sharing a little bit about that at Take on the World, and how that relates to enclosed cosmology as kind of like the reason why all this matters. So I got a whole thing that I've been working on. I promised it for Flat Out Insights. I'm just taking it to FEIC instead. So we'll do more on that, but we're going to be talking about the history of the globe deception.
Look at this. I tell you, whenever you do a video and you chat around with friends, the time goes by fast. We have 1 mile left on 30,
and then we still have 2 hours. We still have over an hour left.
No.
Yes, we do. It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, so that's just 1 hour.
Yeah,
we only have 1 hour left.
And if we just like stay here for an hour, I don't know. You guys don't have to stay.
Michael's on his way to the house, so we should give him a call.
Okay, yeah. So that was like kind of my like deep thoughts too. So I really truly appreciated this girl's post, this woman's post, her family.
She will never know what an impression she has made on so many, including us.
And then she wrote, her favorite thing to create is the Seder dish. And then people were asking her, well, how does she create it? What is it? What is that? And she just walked through it, and everything she did.
Okay, here we are.
She wasn't trying to
toward Texas 302.
Yep, 302. Yep.
I'm following Tony.
Yeah.
He's got his.
We're not going to miss our exit this time.
We've got the GPS doing the right thing and Tony doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So it was amazing just to see that, and it just really was like a gut punch check to say, what have we been doing? Why? And then here's the problem. Then we don't even get that opportunity. I'm stopped down. I don't even get.
This person's fully stopped.
Continue on Lee Street.
Okay, please just put it on the road to see how crazy Liz is. I am like 30 feet from a car and she's telling me to brake. I have my foot on the brake.
We drive so differently.
Yeah, right.
So differently.
So, man, I've got a lot to learn. So, 20 years with Liz and she has not learned how I drive and I have not learned how to drive.
I'm just allowed. I'm a cautious Ohioan.
Oh, no, it's just...
That I am.
But here's the problem now, is that, you know, when it comes to the feasts, maybe now we're all getting a better perspective of how to share them and how to reveal them to the world, to our friends and our family better. But in our mistakes, we may have ruined the opportunity for many years to come, you know, by blasting them with feast days and then making them leave pagan traditions and just turning off so many people. You know, so, you know, like our, you know, what have we done to our parents, our siblings, you know, our cousins, our family members that we have disassociated from, you know, what have we done? And then I think the way that we should have started is the only way to repair that, is to now lead with him and show those changes in our lives. And I mean, for crying out loud, you know.
David, you shush. You shush.
Yeah.
He's telling other people about me.
David can speak firsthand again because David drove in our car. So.
Hey, I was allowed. I was in the back seat that time, so I was allowed to be the back seat driver.
So there it is, though. I will say, but you know what? Maybe this applies for driving. All these things, we need to lead with the right spirit. So for crying out loud,
and not with a lead foot.
The fruits of the Spirit, one of the greatest ones that none of us really have, is patience. We don't have patience for one another. We don't have patience for our spouses. You know.
I'm trying.
I
need more of it every day.
You know, why don't you put this on there? Because this is a super cool town.
This is quite interesting.
Yeah. Here's a Max.
I don't know what town we're in.
Here's a Max. Big shout out to all my Ohio people who actually know what Marks is. This is Max.
That's not Marks.
Yeah, well, it's one letter off. Marks is a great store where we're from. It's MARCS. So if you come to Ohio, you know, go to Marks and you can get some cheap stuff there. Hey, David, when you come back to Ohio, they got Marks here, and that same burger patty that you ate at TGI Fridays, which was the Beyond Meat burger, not the Impossible Burger, which is the genetically modified monster of Burger King, and it's made from heme iron, which is made in a factory. It's the that's the Impossible Burger. The Beyond Meat burger is sold at Mark's, so you can buy it right there. So
that's an interesting art piece.
So I know you loved it because David ate it 2 days in a row, and he wasn't even trying to fit in with us. He just is like, "What do you guys think? All right, I'll try it."
And it's priced great at Mark's.
Yeah. So yeah, when I get David on a secret show, we're gonna have a good time.
This reminds me of East Cleveland, of like the downtown areas of Cleveland that you drive through quickly.
Except for everybody's wearing cowboy hats.
Yeah.
Actually, I have not seen one cowboy hat.
That's a cool looking house. Ian says he's had enough with this long-winded live stream.
Is that what he said?
Yep, no patience. He has no patience for us anymore.
Yeah. But yet the numbers continue to go up. So that means you have not left. Okay? Yeah.
Maybe he's come and gone.
I mean, Ian, don't you have like 12 kids to attend to? I mean, seriously. Or is this how you like get away? Like I'm doing work in the other room, and you're just secretly listening to me and Liz on this trip, wishing you could be
Us
here.
wives, we know what's going on.
Yeah, because you know what, Ian, dude, I'm gonna get to hang out with Nathan and Tony all weekend.
We are in Texas.
Yes, we are.
Nellie, we're in Texas.
Yeah.
We've finally made it to Texas. We are.
Y'all, we in Texas now.
We are
right?
less than an hour away from
Look at this.
FEIC.
You know we're in Texas when you got cactus ropes
and a saddle supply.
Yeah, you got saddle supply.
Saddle supply next to a gas station.
We got tobacco stores all over, and we got churches. We got Full Gospel Holy Temple dispensational
And here
church.
comes the accent.
We got,
Please tell me the accent's gonna leave this car.
I don't know about that. I think I do my whole
Or not leave this
I think
car.
I'll do my whole presentation in this accent tomorrow with Michael. Good morning, everyone. I'm Chris.
No,
Hey,
you
Michael
have to
from
say, hey
Flat Out.
y'all.
Hey,
Yeah,
y'all.
you have to use y'all as much as possible.
Yeah, hey y'all. Hey y'all that are just joining us. We just had a few people drop off.
We apologize for if Chris is coming off very insensitive.
Yeah, he said, look, I am Southern, so I can.
He's half hillbilly.
So
As
are
am
you.
I.
So are you.
Yep. Us hillbillies found one another.
Hey, look, I grew up eating like biscuits and gravy, y'all.
You did.
The funniest skit that Jim Gaffigan does is his biscuits and gravy, y'all. It is so funny. It is hysterical. So I don't know if you could just Google that, but I know it's a Netflix. Overall, Jim Gaffigan. He's
We
like
love Jim Gaffigan.
yeah, he's like a Catholic, I guess, but he's pretty clean all the way around.
Stewed potatoes and beans. Yes, I ate a lot of that. I had a lot of at my grandparents' house, who are raised right at the base of the Smoky Mountains. We had cornbread, green beans, fried potatoes,
Fried okra.
okra. Oh, I miss okra. Yes, okra and some greens.
But see,
And then
but that's
always
what
Kraft mac and cheese.
But you know what? Like 20 years ago, when we would eat that stuff, because we told them we stopped eating that stuff because
we don't eat that anymore.
Because they would use like margarine.
No, Country Crock. Hello.
Which was margarine?
You needed Tupperware containers. You always had to buy Country Crock because then you'd have your containers.
But I remember even 20 years ago, we made your grandma stop using her pork lard. To make her green beans. We're like, we're not eating that. That was 20 years ago. We were like, we knew about the toxin levels. Yeah. We knew how bad
salt
pork was.
Salt pork. That's what it was. She always had a piece of salt pork in her green beans.
And we were like, no, you have to remove that. And so if she makes it to this
day. I will admit, though, it doesn't taste the same.
It's okay. It's okay. Even back then, I wasn't going to eat it. So, Liz, that's where you got your parasite from eating all that stuff.
Probably.
But see, I grew up in
There's not much in this area of Texas.
I grew up in a home that...
Yes, that dry bar comedy. I do love to watch those. That is really good.
Which one?
Dry bar comedy. I forget the one guy that was talking about his kids. That was hysterical.
Which one?
I don't remember the name. I just see it come through Facebook, and I always watch them.
So what do you guys think of this John Christ Christian comic? Did you guys hear about John Christ?
It's really sad. It's sad to have all of these people
he's
fall.
Yeah,
and be in the limelight.
Yeah, like
it is totally flat here.
Sex addict.
Redneck Tupperware. That's right. Country
very
crap.
Inappropriate.
Always had to have the big tubs too, not just the little ones. It has to be the big ones.
But we did change that. They at least got better. So.
Yeah, unfortunately they switched to. I can't believe it's not butter. I mean, it's a step.
If you
in some direction.
If you like chemicals.
Yeah.
Now here's a test. If you guys are out there eating margarine and stuff.
Blake is taking major offense to the use of y'all.
Well, he's like a panhandler, like Florida accent.
Oh, April, I wish we had more time. I would love to visit Waco and go to Magnolia, of course. And
I'm always a little leery of anybody from Waco.
All the wackos of Waco.
That was an interesting
but hey,
time.
you may get a sighting of Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Oh, they were in Waco?
Where have you been? Not watching HGTV with me, obviously.
Obviously not.
We're probably just going to stay in the Dallas area.
When I find out someone keeps Christmas, I'll watch their show. That is the truth. Just kidding. Actually, I really didn't like Liz could have been Chip.
West 380.
I could have been Chip. She could have been Joanna. But I really couldn't have been Chip. She would have actually been married to somebody else. And so
I had a chance.
she had a chance. So when HGTV was in its early years, we're talking like 2000.
No. No. I was still in high school when that show was on.
No. I'm talking when HGTV was still getting its. Can I tell the story?
Okay, sure.
Okay. HGTV was now like starting to get in its limelight and get a little bit bigger. And, it went from just being like a little, off cable channel to, it was starting to develop to be this big conglomerate that it was. And I believe that was like with Mark Summers. He was the Double Dare guy. He's a part of all that stuff like Food Network and HGTV, all that stuff. That guy must be some like secret genius or something. To create a show with slime and then go make shows with slime as food and make billions and billions of dollars. But anyways.
Way off track here.
I know. It was part of the story. But Liz, there was a show, the first interior show or the most popular interior show.
Like DIY.
Yes, do-it-yourself show. I'm telling a story. I'll get to it.
Oh, Michael can't get in.
Okay, all right. Well, he can't get in.
They're at the house.
He can't get in for 10 more minutes.
No, it's 3:13.
Okay. Well, anyways, let me finish this story. So Liz, there was a show called Room by Room, and it was a couple from Cleveland, Ohio, who they were the like the only real show other than maybe like you had This Old House and he had a few other like PBS style shows. Room by Room was like the main like interior decorating design show out. And Liz got to intern with them, and
I did. No, I did not.
Well, you got to go on site.
Can I tell the story since it's my story?
But you got to go on site.
I did.
You did get to go on site, and you did get an opportunity to intern with them, but you didn't take that intern. There you go. You can finish the story. So, because then just a few years later.
Okay, so here's what happened.
Yeah.
Here's what really happened. So I was in college, going for my interior design degree, and I love to watch Room by Room. That had been on HGTV for a few years now, and I knew because I could see in the credits that it was filmed in Beechwood, Ohio, which is like a primo area of Ohio, money area. done. And they were like, well, the intern is unpaid, internship unpaid, and you have to be here for a minimum of like 30 hours a week. And I'm like, there's no way that I can do that and finish my classes and still, I mean, I had a 4.0, I was top of the class. I'm like, I can't do this. And I was literally in tears. And to this day, I always wonder what if.
Yeah,
What if? Okay, I'm gonna have to have you do this, or we're gonna have to cut this off because
let's
they are
film you.
trying to get in and they can't.
Yeah, so I mean, we are dropping some people. You know, your story dropping.
I'm sorry. I have really detailed, long-winded stories, as Chris tells me all
No, that's
the
okay.
time.
I'm just joking. So right after that, HGTV like blew up, and that whole boom of interior design of being like a viable field other than you know, for you know, college students, you know, it just became do it yourself. And you know, now you see what HGTV is today. It's all these shows just teaching people how to do things, and or celebrity status. So it was kind of cool that Liz, you know, could have kicked off.
What could have been?
Yeah, because eventually their show.
Song for that?
Yeah, if you go back and watch those shows, it was you know, pretty basic and not the greatest quality. And nowadays their shows are just, you know, unbelievable quality. So yeah, so I'm going to show you guys more of the view around. So Liz does do interior design on the side. So if you guys need any local help, she'll either do it for free, or you could pay her in a meal.
Plant-based.
A plant-based meal.
You should probably.
Yeah.
You should probably.
Yeah, we should probably jump off. And Blake, if you're still watching now,
Okay.
when Blake calls me, I just continue to talk, so I don't even know what you sound like, man.
Don't keep saying y'all.
Yeah, because I don't even think he says y'all. I mean, he's definitely got a nice southern voice. See,
We're for sure gonna drop viewers now.
yeah, no, they're actually coming.
Like
the
nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, so you guys, this is what you missed if you didn't come to FEIC.
I gotta say, the drivers here in Texas, wonderful. I will take Texas over Arkansas any day.
But we are not in Dallas yet. So
True.
Dallas drivers are going to
These
be
outskirt Texans, y'all are nice. You like that?
Yes. The industry was evil. I mean, think about it. You were there for one day, and you were hit on by 2 people in one day.
Yeah.
And I did have weird thoughts about
You weren't totally game
I
for all
wasn't
of it.
game for all of it, especially after you told me you were getting hit on by the cameraman on the first day, and the way that you know, the host of the show, you know, seemed to parade around town with young girls.
Matt Fox.
Yeah, he was a married guy, I know. He actually showed up at our church once, which was crazy. Remember that?
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
I think we should sign off because I need to give Maria.
Well, just
a
go
call.
ahead. We wanted to film that. We wanted to get. Well, I know.
Not everybody likes to always be on camera 24/7.
All right, guys. You know what? I probably should sign off. So thank you guys so much for being here again. We're gonna let you see, like, you know, here is the Chevrolet plant, and here is an open field.
Exciting stuff.
And here, wait a minute, hold on now.
Okay.
Don't take that. We're here in Texas now. You got to show
You are
every-
driving. though.
Their water towers ain't really bigger than the towers that we have in Ohio.
I think ours are bigger.
Yeah, ours might be bigger. 'Cause everything
Not
is
everything is bigger.
not
in
everything
Texas.
is bigger here in Texas.
Not everything.
Now that I'll tell you that here's a Brookshire's. That's a grocery store.
Oh goodness.
And if you guys need to know, there's Tony's license plate.
You know, if you start talking Southern, Tony
Yeah, but you know who I hope really talks Southern
Wrong gun.
is Rick Hummer. If we can get Rick Hummer to talk Southern, and he's really good at it. I mean, look at this. It's not a
Ford
Buc-ee.
and everything.
That's not a Buc-ee's. That's nice, man.
That looks like
These guys are going.
Really nice.
These guys are going number 1 and 2 in style here, out here in Texas. Look at this. Texas guys don't even drive with the back of their caps up. I don't even know what the deal is with that. Look at this. Garbage men don't even pick up their garbage cans, and they just leave them on the ground. Ohio, man, we would never do that. So guys, you are missing all of this rivet. To go to FEIC Flat Earth International Conference online. If you want to stream any of the presentations, you can, or you have to have some fruits of the spirit and wait for patience in just a couple weeks. So,
and for everybody who's going to be watching the stream of it, hey, maybe you'll see us in the background.
yeah, maybe I'll probably be doing videos outside. So, and maybe Robbie will let me. I'll do some live stream of some presentations. So.
All right. Getting
right.
summoned from the back.
All right. Thank you guys for
All right,
hanging
you
with
guys
us.
take care. Thanks for making our journey awesome. You guys rock.
See ya.
See ya.